Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? What you are about to witness is real.
This is not a dream, but a new beginning.
Stand by for uplink.
The Don Hanston Show, straight up.
Thank you.
GPS uplink now completed with Google Earth. Commencing the official countdown in 3, 2, 1.
And now your hosts, Don and...
Welcome to Straight Up, the Don Hanston Show, along with Marcel and Don. I'm Sal. Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome, everyone.
Today I figure we're going to do something a little different, Don. We're going to kind of back away from the politics a little bit, even though I think this topic ties into politics ultimately. But in 1946, a meteorologist / scientist named Vincent Schaefer was trying to develop a way to make more precipitation, more rain. And I guess what he first did is he thought of putting dry ice into clouds to create more precipitation, make the molecules heavier so it would rain. Then it was actually one of his counterparts, Bernard Vonnegut, later discovered that if you use silver iodide and put that in there, it works a lot better. It's more economical. And from what I heard is silver iodide is inert, and it doesn't bother plants or animals or us. This is what I've seen in my research, but I'm not 100% sure that that's true. But today we're going to talk about the manipulation of weather. Don, I know we've talked about this before. I know you know a lot about it. What is your view on people manipulating the weather?
Okay, and I'm gonna say up front, the majority of what I'm gonna say is perspective. Okay, it's not raw data. I've seen so many videos and I've read so much stuff on this stuff. The bottom line is, everything happens for a reason. This weather manipulation initially was used for different things. Like I said, in Vietnam, they flooded the roads so the Vietnamese couldn't, attack our soldiers, and it kind of, really put a stopping point to the war, by creating 9 or 10 inches of rain in just an hour or two or whatever the numbers were. So it's been going on for a long time, but I think that it's also been done for farms. There was good reasons for it. But now I believe that it's done for an agenda and solely for an agenda. And, for years they've been trying to press this, the Green New Deal, electric cars, no gas stoves, no more cows with gas, all this bullshit, right? And, and really what they're trying to do is, another transfer of wealth. They want you to spend money in one direction, and it goes in all these people's pockets, right? And so, right now, it's if anybody notices, I mean, a lot of people can disagree with what I got to say, and that's completely fine. Everybody's got their own perspective, but if you look and see what's going on over the weekend, right? I don't know where anybody's at, but I'm in the Midwest, okay? And these storms, they come out of nowhere, and they're they're unbelievable. So, for instance, I was up at my place in Wisconsin.
I heard about
over the weekend, and we were going
weekend.
we were going to the Leonard Skinner concert on Saturday night.
Don? Was
at
that
the state? It was at the State Fair, which is West Allis, which is basically
they
Milwaukee, right?
The last day I heard this morning. So, all right, yeah.
Well, yeah, but before that, okay, so we were going there on Saturday, and we were like, okay, it looks like it might rain a little bit, and then we were all looking at the radar and everything else, and it looks like it's all breaking up. It might not even rain. Blah 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 blah, all this shit. So we get in there, and all of a sudden it opens up, okay. And when I say it opens up, it's not just like a heavy rain. It's a flooding rain, okay? Within how many? I don't know what the number was. All I can tell you was we were standing underneath the bleachers because they didn't open up the stadium yet for you to sit down. and it was raining, so we were kind of dry, and then there was so much water, it was just started leaking in. Well, next thing you know, there's like a river running through, right? Like, I mean, I'm talking like 1.5 feet deep of water. So finally, I think it was around 8:10, they said, you know what, we're canceling the concert. And we said, let's get the hell out of here. So we're going through the fairgrounds, and the water is up to our ankles, and it's rushing. Like, it's not just stagnant water, it's rushing the whole property. And there was people that we had the rain ponchos because we were kind of prepared, but a lot of people didn't, and they were running with their heads down. It was kind of crazy because people were just running into you because everybody's running crazy, right? So we went, as we left, and in the streets, the puddles were almost knee deep in the streets. So we had a giant SUV, so we got out of there. But when we got out of there, when we were going underneath the viaducts, the water was coming over the hood of the car that was so deep. And I'm like, and you couldn't see for like 3 to 5 seconds at a time. And so I'm thinking, boy, if anybody like jackknives or wipes out or something, you're not going to see them. You're going to hit them. And so it was kind of freaky. But the moral to the story was this came out of nowhere. And I don't know how much rain they got, if they got 14, 18 inches of rain. It was crazy. But the bottom line was it went from no rain to a flood. It was a flood. Now, that's not normal, okay? And so anyways, I went back to my place. It hadn't rained there, and it was only about 45 minutes away. Now, the next morning, we got these torrential downpours. Well, I'm looking at the radar, and Milwaukee was hit like 10 times worse than what we were. So they even got more yesterday, which was Sunday. And so my theory on all of this stuff, and you know, again, perspective, is these liberal cities are targeted. Milwaukee, right? Chicago, Los Angeles, all of these, if you look at all these crazy storms, all these crazy events, they all happen in these liberal areas. And I think it's really to solidify the climate change agenda, right? Because all these people believe in, oh yeah, climate change, and a cow farted, so, you know, whatever they come up with. And so these people, when they start kind of veering from, yeah, they're probably full of shit, it kind of solidifies that thought process because they target these areas. And if you look closely at a lot of these crazy storms, they're in these liberal, a lot of these sanctuary type cities. And as soon as you get away, even if you're half hour, 40, 45 minutes away, there's no precipitation or very little. And so it makes me really believe that they're targeting these areas.
I mean,
if that makes sense to you.
I understand what you're saying. The only thing that I question is why? What is the benefit of manipulating weather in sanctuary cities?
Well, I mean, because what it does is it solidifies the climate change thought process, which is like a democratic type of thing. You know, yeah, we got to buy electric cars, we can have gas stoves and all this nonsense, and you know, and we better start doing things differently and all that. I don't even know what, because I don't follow all of that crap. But really, it's just a transfer of wealth. So really, it's just, in my opinion, it's not weather manipulation. It's manipulation of people. And you're trying to manipulate them so you can, again, you can get their money. You can get people to start spending money in a different direction. And so, and I think they kind of screwed things up a little bit with the, when Elon Musk got in with the Doji thing with the Republican Party, is everyone started boycotting Elon Musk, which basically is electric cars, right? So I think it put a big damper on that whole industry where people didn't want to buy them, whether they were against Elon Musk or they didn't want their cars vandalized or no longer was cool to have them. I don't really know, but it affected him, but I think it affected the entire industry because I think a lot of people were like, we don't want to have a Tesla car. And I think that they have to be careful, you know, when they're trying to push these agendas, they have to be careful. They're kind of walking on broken glass, because if they push against somebody that supplies these types of things that, you know, kind of enriches the Green New Deal, the climate change nonsense, then they're kind of going against their own plan. So I think that is another issue that's gone on, is that whole Tesla boycott, and people afraid to drive Teslas are going to get vandalized, or windows are going to get busted. And
okay, so you're making the leap from they want to push their agenda on the blue states, blue cities, to say, see, this is real. See what we're saying, climate change. Well, first it was global warming, and then they realized that the Earth's temperature fluctuates historically anyways. So then they changed it to climate change to make a more general thing, so they could still talk about the ozone layer. So you're saying that's to push the agenda of, see, this is still an issue. We need your money. We need to make a difference. That's why they're doing it. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you notice, look at the swing in temperatures.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting at the pool. I don't know which day it was. Sitting at the pool, and we're kind of just chilling out. And all of a sudden, this wind comes out of nowhere, and it dropped 22 degrees in, like, I want to say less than 20 minutes, like 17 minutes, 22 degrees.
Wow. Well,
yeah. How is that even possible?
I know that, weather is going to be somewhere, and there has to be a cutoff point. You have the clouds, that are filled with the precipitation. There has to be a cutoff somewhere. Now, you being 45, now I know where your place is. I'm not going to say it, but I know where it is. But you saying 45-minute difference to Milwaukee to where you were, that's a pretty good distance, I think. So I don't know if they're just like saying, all right, we're just going to make it rain in Milwaukee, which I seen video of this morning. I could not believe the flooding that was going on.
What about the timing, though, Sal? No. I hate to cut you off,
right.
But what about the timing? During the state fair?
Right.
Like the most amount of people are impacted by this. So it's really getting
a bigger
pushing
audience,
the point
right?
across. Like you mentioned in the other show, what's the timing? And you were talking about the Trump with the Epstein thing, right? And they pushed it out on, was it the Monday of Memorial Day or after the 4th of July or whatever, or Friday of 4th of July, whatever it was, because they want to catch people sleeping when they were going to put out this bullshit. But when they want to put out something that's very well known, how are we going to have the most impact, right? It's kind of like if you did something in a stadium that holds 76,000 people, and there's so many networks watching, and something happens, it makes the most impact.
That's a legitimate. Right? Okay, yeah, I get that. So they have a bigger selection, a bigger audience to convince that this is happening. Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, first of all, I agree with, I think, 90% of what you're saying. The only reason why I'm asking questions is just to invoke a conversation. That maybe somebody listening is screaming at their radio saying, well, what about this? So maybe I can cover that. Now, what I learned with this is they can't cure drought. Like, you can't take a sky that's sunny or in a desert or there's farmland. You can't do this unless there's clouds already, and you have to be very particular with the wind patterns. Like, it has to be perfect. They use something called an AHOG to shoot these flares into the clouds, or the planes will do it. And I guess AHOG is automatic high output ground systems. That's the machines they use to shoot the flares. So you can't do it when there's no clouds. So I ask you, that day you were at the fair, was it cloudy already?
It was really weird because there was, I obviously I wasn't at the fair. I was sitting by the pool before we went there. We didn't really see clouds, but in far off areas it did look dark, right? But it was really weird because they came out of nowhere and they disappeared out of nowhere. Okay, you know how clouds kind of they kind of formulate. You see a little bit of fog or a little bit of cloud, and then a little bit more, a little bit darker cloud. Like it's not such a fast transition where it goes from a sunny sky to a black cloud, and next thing you know, you got 14 inches of rain going. It's not like that. It's kind of like when I said the temperature changed so quickly. Typically, it might cool down 5 degrees, 8 degrees. 10 degrees. You know, maybe it does change 20 degrees, but it might be over a period of 12 hours, not in 17 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's too quickly
Funny
pushed
you say
upon
17
us.
minutes, because what I learned is that when they do start the cloud seeding, it takes an average of 20 minutes to start, anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes to start. So it's kind of funny that you said 17 minutes, because that would be actually very doable for that. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense that they would do this, but so you're saying overall it's to push the agenda of, like Al Gore did for how many years? 8 years. We need more money. We need more research. We need to do this, and we need to spend more money on that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and then the more people that you got believing in this nonsense, the more they're like, yeah, we got to have climate change. And then people are marching in the streets with signs, climate change, and no more gas cars, and the guy that drives the gas car is a bad guy, and all this bullshit. And really, all it does is it just creates an influx of money toward the things that the agenda is pushing, right? And so it's not really what's better for us; it's what gets them more money. Don't kid yourself. If you think that the government or any of this bullshit that they have out there, any of these laws or bills or anything, is there to enrich us, the U.S. citizen, or to benefit us, the U.S. citizen, you're out of your fucking mind, okay? It's to enrich them. It's complete deception. It's to take money out of your pocket. You just threw a 20 in there, and now there's only 10. What happened to it? Well, that's what happened to it. It's called deception, okay? And so anything that they do, all these people that believe that it's for their betterment, I mean, think again. Look at the money, like I said a million times, look at the money trail. Look where the money's going. I don't care what topic we're talking about here. Coronavirus, 9/11, you name it. It doesn't matter. The transfer of wealth, the 2008, credit and mortgage crisis, all of these things, it's manipulation to take our money away, deflate our money, or to push an agenda. Maybe it's control, power. It's all manipulation, and that's all it is. And it's the same thing with this climate change. It's the same thing with all this weather manipulation, but people believe it because we have the majority of the people in the United States have been programmed, and they're programmed to either believe or disbelieve, and so they're like one or the other. But not too many people actually pull it out of context and create a little bit of logic and understand why it's going on.
So. Well, I mean, it's very similar to the USAID thing. I don't think any of the Democrats really cared if AIDS was more controlled in Africa or they had these plays in all these other countries. They just want the money to go there so they can benefit and get their kickbacks from it. So this is almost the same concept in a way, to push their agenda.
So let's say the AIDS thing, right? Let's say I'm the guy that can push the law through or the bill or whatever it is. And I say, hey, Sal, you know what? Open up an AIDS thing and, say that you're going to help the people in South Africa, and we could probably get you, $200 million, and then you just give them a couple bucks or something, and we'll split the rest. That's how it works. Right. Don't kid yourself when thinking, oh, yeah, they're actually helping somebody. And it's the same thing with this climate change, right? If they get enough people with this weather manipulation to start believing back in this climate change nonsense, and let's say I'm the guy pushing the bill. Hey, you know what? Maybe you should open up electric stove company. I'm going to say everybody's banned from having gas stoves, and everybody's going to need one. There's going to be huge, and you know what? Charge quadruple for those things. Or, I mean, that would actually be more legit than what these idiots are doing. They would have something where none of the money goes toward anything, right? Either they're going to sell product or they're just going to steal the money. And that's what it boils down to.
They did Farm Aid. No, not Farm Aid. I'm sorry. It was Fire Aid or whatever. All the celebrities and George Clooney and all them and the singers they did a concert for the Pacific Palisades section of California. They burned the beginning of the year. And the reports coming out now is that money, nobody's really seen that money. It was like millions of dollars. Stolen. And they talked to a lot of people. And there's only what did we say in the one show? 17 permits issued so far since that. But talking with a lot of the people that live there, a lot of the reports are, They didn't see any money. They haven't seen anything. So it's like, where's that money going?
A lot of them didn't even get
where's the
insurance
money
money.
going?
Yeah. It's going in these people's pockets. I don't understand how people don't believe this because, like, as quickly as our money is deflating, depreciating, whatever you want to call it, it has to be going somewhere, okay? And so they're stealing it, but they're not just stealing a little bit. You know what I mean? It's unprecedented the amount that's actually being stolen from us, based on. And I hate to say it because it always falls back on the politicians, the politics, the governments, all this stuff. But it's the people in charge, right? The people that hold the purse strings are the ones stealing the money. Whether I give you $1 billion and you kick me back, a couple $100 million, whether I do that or I have you set up some bogus company that says you're going to do something and you kick money back or whatever, J.B. Pritzker here in Illinois, the governor, opens up all the corona, testing stations and all the corona stuff, and then shuts the state down. And I mean, it's his businesses, right? Like it's all deception. And how do people not see this? I don't understand how they don't see it. It's right in front of them, and it goes along with this weather manipulation and climate change.
I see
all
the connection
bullshit
that you made there, and I agree with you. But to be fair with everybody listening, I believe this is happening on both sides. I think we're more aware of the left doing it now because we have a strong Republican Party in charge. So we're hearing about the USAID, the PBS, the NPR. But I'm pretty sure, and I think you agree with me, that this is an issue on both sides of the political spectrum, that they're all doing it.
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind whether it's just corrupt, Republican, okay, or if it's a Democrat disguised as a Republican,
Rhinos,
what they call them, rhinos, I don't know, and it doesn't really matter. The bottom line is, I mean, money is the one thing that entices most, okay? When there's money involved, when there's power involved, that entices most, okay? People want money and they want power, they want control. That's what they want. And so how do they get it? Through something very simple called deception, okay? And that's how they do it. They use the medias. They use the biggest platforms that they possibly could use to manipulate people's minds into believing what they're telling them so they could steal our money. It's really that basic. We could shut the show down and say, that's it, we're done, we'll never talking again. If you just listen to those few words that I just said, you got to figure it out. It's really not that hard. And I guess that's what blows my mind with all of these subjects is it's right in front of us, but my hand's right there,
People
but why
don't
can't I
wanna
see it?
Yeah,
It's
they
because
don't
you've
want
been
to see
deceived.
it. They don't want to see
Deception. Right.
that their side, their political party is doing this to them. Because what they hear, whether you're listening to Fox or Newsmax or you're listening to CNN or MSNBC, you hear somebody saying it on the TV or on your computer or in a short video, that's it. You're going to believe it. And we already know that the left has more control over the media than the right has in years. And I think that stems with a huge problem. And this is probably why, which we've talked about before, these politicians on both sides only make X amount of dollars, but then again, go and look at what they're worth, right? So they're getting...
Yeah. Like I said, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, is so intelligent that he manipulated the United States stock market. Come on. And so it goes back to, like, these people are not like, Megamind, you know what I mean? These people are idiots, but we're the bigger idiots because we allow them to steal our money. I mean, so we got to look in the mirror and go, yeah, you fucked this shit up because you let these idiots steal this money. Bottom line is, things got to change. Things do have to change. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, I think the biggest way to make a change is make a change in you. Just start seeing things as they are. Start living your life a little bit more simply. Start engaging with the correct people, and you know what? You're free to make whatever perspective you want. I mean, the bottom line is right or wrong. people's perceptions are the realities, and the realities are what kind of make who they are. And it's, I think the more logic that you can interject into your perspective, the more well-rounded of a person you're going to be, and nobody's going to bamboozle
so
you.
Tough.
But these people that walk around with zero logic.
These kids, it's so tough
Pardon me?
because these kids are watching the social media, and if one of their favorite singers or actors or whatever says something, they take it as gospel, and that's it. I mean, what you're saying is true, but boy, that's really hard to do, you know?
And on top of it, now you throw this AI in there. Now, how do you know what's real, what's not real? And so, I mean, you know, they could have me saying some crazy stuff. And, oh, yeah, we saw him say it, and he said it here, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just AI, right? You wouldn't know what to believe anymore. So this whole AI thing is really going to screw things up, because when you think that there's separation between people now, wait till AI really opens up. And nobody's going to know what's real, what's not real, especially when people can't see a hand in front of them. They're not going to understand deception of AI because they don't have any logic. There's no logic.
Right.
There's
if
no common
they hear it
sense.
and believe it. Imagine if they're seeing it now. Then they're definitely going to believe it.
Right.
So I think that is going to be a problem.
Exactly.
And they even said with Nancy Pelosi that she made better stock decisions than like Warren Buffett ever did or anything like that. One of those guys. That her money, that she was doing way better than all these multimillionaires who made their money in the stock exchange. So where is she getting her money from? I mean, I'm sure. Yeah.
But why are we even questioning this? She's the system that makes the laws, the rules, right? You know, and so, you know, it's kind of like if I'm playing a lottery, right? And I'm winning every freaking time. But I'm also the guys pulling the balls out, right? You know?
That's it. Yeah.
Like, how did he do that? How did he pull those winning numbers out every single time? Because he's the guy that pulls the balls out, you idiots.
To the don't look here,
and so
just look over here, you know?
Right, they showed the ball with all the numbers in there, and then I pick out the ones that only have my winning numbers in there, and oh yeah, I won again, you know? Like, how did he do it? Oh my God, I can't believe how intelligent he is. No, he's a freaking idiot, and you're a bigger idiot for believing his bullshit.
Nothing
you know?
will happen. Nothing will come of this. You know, she's not going to get charged with anything. They were even going to try to make it where the politicians can't invest in certain stocks and do these things, but. You know, I heard it, and then it left. Well, I agree. They should not be able to because they're the ones that can manipulate it. But, you know, we heard it. It was talked up. Sounded like a great idea, and nothing came of it. You know, we're moving on to other stuff now, like the gerrymandering and all that other stuff. So it's like we talk about it. This is what we're going to do. This is what we should do. But then it never gets done. But they could, you know.
It's, you know.
I don't get it.
I used to be part of a lot of boards, and I used to sit through these board meetings, and I'd listen to all this bullshit, and then at the end of the meeting, nobody would want to make a decision, so they'd say, "We'll table this till next time." And I used to get so fucking pissed because why do we bring all this stuff up? Why do we even come here? And so I used to tell people, okay, I know what your time's worth, I know what mine's worth, but this huge table of people, there's a lot of money being spent having this meeting to talk about things that we're not going to fucking do. What is the fucking point of this thing? And everybody would get pissed. They would get pissed. And I said, you know, if there's no repercussion, there's no decisions made, there's no point in having a fucking meeting. Just let everybody run fucking wild. But people would get pissed at me. And finally, I just said, you know what? I don't want any part of this. It's just a waste of time. And it's very aggravating for me because I like decisiveness. We talk about something, let's fucking make it happen, or let's not talk about it.
It's the same thing that's going on in our government. You know, every week I hear of more hearings. Oh, they're going to bring Hillary and Bill Clinton in now to have a hearing over the Epstein stuff again and all that stuff. And we never get to see anything out of it. I know we're getting the sign that the show is wrapping up. This show went by quick. I'm going to remind everybody that if you're looking for our new shows to post on YouTube, sometimes the behind-the-scenes YouTube takes a little bit longer to post. So make sure you check out our podcast so you get the shows immediately on Apple, Spotify, Rumble, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Audio and Video. And also check out the app Overcast. That's a great app to stream podcasts. That's what I use. We're on there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe and the like button. Hit the bell so you know when a new episode drops. And also let us know if there's something you disagree with or agree with on the show. Check out the website, donhanston.com. We have a link to our 24/7 radio station. And also you can email us at straightupdonhanston@gmail.com if there's something you want to say. Thanks for joining us once again. Don, you take care, and we'll see you guys again next time on Straight Up, the Don Hanston Show.